Welcome to Birds of Prey Sports, where we weekly cover Ravens and Orioles news. We're your hosts, TJ and Jared. And in this video, we're going to be doing a pregame of the Ravens versus Bengals. A game that we'll be playing, tomorrow afternoon, at 1 p.m. at Paul Brown Stadium. No, Paycor Stadium, I believe it's called now. And, it's going to be one of those typical AFC North matchups, a very physical matchup, a very, ground and pound, and just tough matchup. The Ravens and the Bengals have kind of ignited a rivalry, ever since I would say about uh 2021, you know, and these two teams don't like each other, you know. There's some bad blood, always on the field, and it's always fun to see. So, I just want to start off by saying this is a game, where we need to do the same exact thing that we did against the Bills to the Bengals. We just need to pound the ball with Derrick Henry. And I think it's also I'm starting to kind of see the vision when it comes to Justice Hill. I think sprinkling some Justice Hill in there is also good, kind of like how he used him last week. That's kind of a good 1-2 punch, but the Bengals have the 25th ranked run defense, I believe. We'll see that when we get to the stats, but their run defense isn't that good. Let's just pound the ball, let Derrick Henry eat again. This should be a game where he has about 150 yards, maybe like 21 carries or something like that. He should just eat again. Um, oh, do I have a boogie or something? I heard you. I saw you
No,
do
I
something.
was scratching my nose.
I don't know. But I was just joking, guys. I don't have boogies, but
I don't know what you got up there, man.
uh, but anyway, yeah, I also want to see. I know I keep saying this each video, but I do want to see our receivers get, involved a little bit more. I still want to see Mark, have a big game. I know it. I kind of know it has to be frustrating. I know he's gonna say he's a team player. He's not caring about the stats, but I just want to see him have at least one vintage Mark Andrews game. Whether that's 8 catches for 75 yards. That's like a Mark Andrews stat and one touchdown or something like that. I just want to see that out of him, to kind of, get reassurance from, Todd Monken and co that, he's still a part of the offense. Um, so I think, that's just the keys to the game, for the offense, pound the ball with Derrick Henry, use that, use the the three tight end, looks, the motions, whatever they want to do, to try to confuse the Bengals in their D line. And also to make a quick comment about the defense, Yannick is coming back tomorrow. So what are your thoughts,
I think that kind of speaks to, the type of game that we want to play defensively. If I remember correctly last year, I want to say it was the Thursday night football game. Roger Washington was inactive that game just because, we knew that they're not really they're not really like they're not like us, obviously. They're not a running team. They're more of a, they throw the ball way more than they run the ball, So guys like maybe like Brent Urban or and company maybe won't play tomorrow with Yannick definitely getting some, some reps. I don't know who snaps he's gonna take. Um, my guess would probably be like a Jabo snaps or somebody else. I can't really think at the moment because like you can't take like guys like Travis Jones off the field or whatever because he's been an absolute monster there, and obviously you're not gonna take away Madubuike because I mean Madubuike or away, because they're both balling this year. So, but I don't know how much he's gonna play. Sometimes they elevate these guys and they barely play. Or maybe they'll only play special teams or something. But definitely on pass rush downs, third and longs, and maybe first and tens. That's kind of where I could see Yannick, coming onto the field. But other than that, like third and short situations, definitely not. Unless it's towards the end of the game. But it's just nice to have some pass rush depth to keep our guys fresh, to keep them healthy. Van Noy's on the older side, but he's been balling this year. You want to keep him fresh, especially. I mean, 6 sacks in the last 3 weeks. I mean, that's incredible. Two
Yeah.
sacks a game. And he won AFC Player of the Month, I think. So shout out to him. And think in our video we were talking about when we were signing him, we didn't think that he was going to get this many sacks. But for him to, I think I said like something along the lines of he can get like 5 6 sacks, that'd be a great return on investment. Yeah, he's already there, and it's what week was week what, like 5 already, I think.
Yeah, week
So
five.
yeah, so Shout out to Van Noy. So I'm excited to see Yannick. Maybe he'll have a better stint with us this time. Sometimes the guys who are like closer to the end of their careers, or the guys that are just kind of bouncing around teams. Sometimes they find a nice little home here before their career finally is put fully into a send off.
Yeah, I agree, and hopefully it could be, a great game for him tomorrow. That's definitely one way to beat the Bengals is put a lot of pressure on Burrow. He is a mobile QB, but obviously he's not that fast. So,
Right.
just getting him on the ground and just, putting a lot of pressure in his face, and obviously covering guys. I'm not gonna say Chase, because we already know to cover Chase, but T. Higgins, I could see this as a game that T. Higgins eats. He hasn't really had a big game so far this season. He's been dealing with injuries and I think contract talks as well. But I could
Uh-huh.
see in the game, where we got to watch out for him.
Yeah.
He's hungry too, and he's a good receiver as well. So, make sure you cover T. Higgins as well. We already know about Chase and put that pressure on Burrow.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And to kind of piggyback off of that, he doesn't they're not really a team that really holds on to the ball like that. So it is going to be hard to get sacks, but when Burrow does like to hold on the ball when he has the chance to, when they're slinging the rock, whatever, so you got to get there. Got to get home. Don't let him extend plays, don't let him obviously, he's not like how Allen was, but we contained Allen, honestly, last week. Honestly, we kept him in the pocket, kept him uncomfortable. Just keep doing that to Burrow, because, he can get flustered. I mean, any quarterback can get flustered in that scenario, not just Burrow or Allen or whatever, like any quarterback. We've seen Lamar get flustered like that before, so just keep them uncomfortable. This is going to be a big game for our secondary. Like guys like Brandon Stevens. I mean, he was locking up Chase last year. He had him in prison last year. The two times that we played him. So, just gonna need that energy. AFC North football. It's our first AFC North matchup of the year, and um, it's just gonna be important for us to get to 3-2. Because I said. Well, maybe didn't say it on the video. I think I said it to you, or I was talking to somebody. I forgot, but like we needed to win the Bills game because we didn't want to go 1-3. And not only do you want to go 1-3, but you have a lot more questions and you have answers. Because that Cowboys game, we didn't want it to be an anomaly. But now you're strung together two great good wins. It's not like you're beating bad teams. We could have been beating the Panthers and then the Bears or whatever. But we played the Cowboys and the Bills, two really good teams. So I continue to stack wins, and then really putting the Bengals in a hard position as well, making them 1-4 if we beat them. So you're kind of separating yourselves from them already. So you need that early separation, so they got to do all the catching up, and hopefully they never catch up.
I agree. And without further ado, I think that's a good segue into the stats now.
Right? Right, can you see my
Very
screen?
well put by Jared. Yes.
Right. This is we're going. Why is this not loading? Sorry, like my screen went black for a second. I don't know why. So I didn't know. Is it still displaying my screen though?
Yep.
All right. Well, I don't know why it went black on my end, but the Cincinnati Bengals offenses, I'm gonna read off all the offensive statistics. They average 25.5 points per game, which is ninth in the league. They average 338.3 yards per game, which is 12th in the league. They average 0.442 points per play, which is fifth in the league. And they average 5.9 yards per play, which is 10th in the league. Their third down conversion rate is at 44.6 or 44.7 pretty much, which is sixth in the league. And their fourth down conversion rate is right at 75%, which is fifth in the league. Their red zone scoring touchdown percentage is at 61.54%, which is ninth in the league, and they're scoring almost 3 points per game, 3 touchdowns per game, 2.8, which is ninth in the league. The Russian statistics here, their rush play percentage is at 38.5, which is 25th in the league. So that, like I said, guys like Brent Urban and Broderick Washington, I could see them not playing tomorrow. Just for guys, like Yannick to get a lot of play tomorrow. But anyways, yards per rush, 4.6 yards per rush, which is ninth in the league. So they are seem to be running the ball with some sort of success. They're rushing. They have 22.3 rushes per game, which is 27th in the league. They have 102.3 rush yards per game, which is 23rd, and they have at least one touchdown and rushing touchdown a game, which is 10th in the league. Their passing statistics, they throw it 61.4% of the, or 61.5% of the time, which is eighth in the league. Their completion percentage is pretty much at 71%, which is seventh in the league. Yards per pass is 7.3, which is 17th in the league. Passes per game is at 30, pretty much 34 passes a game, which is 12th in the league. Pass yards per game is at 236, which is seventh in the league. Interceptions thrown percentage is at 0.75%, which is third in the league, and QB sack percentage is at 53, 5.63, pretty much 5.7%, which is 11th in the league. So you got to get to Burrow here. So, anyways, you can read off the defensive statistics now.
Yeah, so Cincinnati defense, opponent points per game is 26.0, which ranks at 27th in the league. Opponent yards per game is 326.8, which is 15th in the league. So they allow a lot of yards.
Hmm.
Opponent points per play 0.416, 25th in the league, 26th in the league. Opponent yards per play, 5.2, which is 14th in the league. Opponent third down conversion percentage, 41.30, which is 22nd in the league. Opponent fourth down percentage, 75%. So, that's a very good chance of you getting, a fourth down conversion on the Bengals right there.
Hmm.
So don't you can either don't let Harbs cook now. know, he'll look at that and he might mess up the game or he might, make the game a whole lot much better. It's a wild card with him. Um, Opponent red zone scoring percentage, 58.33. So that's pretty decent, for opposing teams. Opponent touchdowns per game, 3 touchdowns per game. So, we're guaranteed 21 points at least in this game. Um,
Actually, we're guaranteed at least 26, so I'm playing.
and Derrick Henry's guaranteed at least 100 rushing yards. I'm
He's
playing.
gonna get 100 rushing. I'll probably do that in the second quarter.
You crazy. Okay, opponent rush play percentage 52.80, which is 29th in the league. So yeah, you're right.
I
Derrick
told you
Henry,
he's gonna get 100 yards before the halftime.
that's 29th in the league. Oh my God.
Look, they're gonna get him
Opponent
200 yards tomorrow. I bet you.
opponent yards per rush 4.4, which is 18th.
Jesus
Opponent rushes
Christ.
per game 33 rushes per game, which is ranks 28th in the league. Opponent rush yards per game 145, which is 25th in the league. So like I said, the Bengals have the 25th ranked rush defense, around that, ballpark range. Opponent rush touchdowns per game 1.3, which is 20th. So Derek should really eat tomorrow. I already know my fantasy team is going to be eating well. Should go to 5-0. So hopefully, he gets that going. Passing statistics, opponent pass play percentage 47.20, which is fourth in the league. Opponent completion percentage 69.91, which is 24th in the league.
Hmm.
So what is this Bengals defense actually good at, huh? I'm just playing. Opponent yards per pass.
Getting ran over.
Uh, opponent yards per pass, 6.6, which is ninth in the league. Opponent passes per game, 28.3, which is seventh. Opponent pass yards per game, 181.3, which is pretty good. That's good on their defensive secondaries and um opponent interception thrown percentage, 2.65, which ranks 10th, and sack percentage, 4.24 is which ranks 29th. So hopefully Lamar won't have to worry about getting sacked too much, in tomorrow's game. But they do have Trey Hendrickson. He's one of the better pass rushers in the league, so we have to watch out for him.
Pretty sure he's dealing with some injury. But I want to show you this. This was awesome. Look at our rushes, our rushing defense. Look at that.
Wow.
That's
Second,
insane.
first.
57.8 yards per game average. Are you serious? That
Wow.
is insane. Damn, we're averaging 220 yards per game on the ground offensively. Damn. Don't look
We
at the
gotta,
passing statistics, but
yeah, we gotta
like
check out that pass.
we're gonna lock that up eventually. But I promise you, our pass defense is better than what that looks like. Um,
I wa
anyways,
I wonder I wonder what our
but
stats were last year. I might have to check that out, on my
I
own
could probably
time.
check. Pretty sure you can check the year. I thought you could here. Hold on. Do you see anything that says like year or something like that? Like,
Uh,
let's do maybe they have it here. No, they don't. Hold
wow,
on.
I
Let me look.
don't
Let
see
me
it
look.
here.
Ranking. What is that website called? Team rankings.
Yeah, gamer.
Same thing. Oh, that doesn't help. He does it. We could probably look at it on our own time, but um, so we'll check that in a minute. But anyways, to move on to the specific statistics. I'm really bad when it comes to like saying the word statistics for some reason. That's just like the word I can't say right. Anyways, Joe Burrow is 95 of 134 with a 70.9 completion percentage, which is pretty much a 71. 978 yards. He averages 7.3 yards per attempt, average 244.5 yards per game. He has 7 touchdowns on 1 interception. He's also been sacked 8 times, so you can get to him. You can get to him. Anyways, their rushing attack seems to be split ever since Joe Mixon has left. Zach Moss has 48 carries on 187 yards, 3.9 yards per carry. He has 2 total touchdowns and averages 46.8 yards per game. And Chase Brown has 29 total carries, 184. He's way better. Chase Brown has 29 carries, 184 yards. Averages 6.3 yards per carry. He has 2 touchdowns and averages 46 yards per game. And this dude has what almost 20 less carries and has 3 less yards. So look out for Chase Brown here. Anyways, receiving stats. Jamar Chase has 19 receptions on 24 targets, 300 total yards. He has 15.8 yards per catch. He averages 15.8 yards per catch, 3 touchdowns, and averages 75 yards per game. Mike Gesicki, I think they was a offseason acquisition this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
15 catches on 19 targets, 147 yards. He averages 9.8 yards per catch. He doesn't have a touchdown yet and averages 36.8 yards per game. Forgot how to you say this guy's name.
Yosivas.
Yeah, what he said. 11 receptions on 18 targets, 114 yards, 3 touchdowns. So he's up there with Jamar Chase. So maybe a little bit of a red zone threat here. Like I said, 3 touchdowns. He averages 28.5 yards per game. T. Higgins, believe he made his debut 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. Unless this is unless this is his statistics from last week. But no, I'm stupid. This is right here. 2 games played. 9 receptions on 16 targets, 99 yards. He averages 11 yards per catch. Doesn't have a touchdown yet and averages 49.5 yards per game. Zach Moss. Okay, that's pretty much it. I mean that's pretty much it. And you can move on to defense here. Read off their defensive statistics.
Logan Wilson's played in all games so far. Has 43 total tackles, 24 solo, 19 assisted, has 1 tackle for loss. Jermaine Pratt also played in all games so far, has 42 total tackles, 22 solo, 20 assisted, also 1 tackle for loss, 2 pass deflections. Von Bell, their safety, also played in all 4 games, 29 total tackles, 12 solo, 17 assisted. He has 1 pass deflection and 1 interception. Dax Hill, I think that's actually Justice Hill's brother, actually.
Yes. Yep.
Also played in all games so far, has 24 total tackles, 19 solo, 5 assisted, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 2 pass deflections. So he's having himself a pretty good year so far. Geno Stone, our old safety, also played in all games so far. Although I don't think he's a starter, honestly. He's not really out there starting that much.
How much they're
Um,
paying him? He better be.
I know. Uh, He has 18 total tackles, 12 solo, 6 assisted. He has only 1 pass deflection, and that's it. So that's not worth the $10 million or whatever they paid him so far. Uh, Cam Taylor Britt, he's been very outspoken so far this season. He's always has having something to say about each of the Bengals opponents. He's also played in all games so far. 15 total tackles, 10 solo, 5 assisted. He has 3 pass deflections and 1 interception. He had that, really nice interception on Patrick Mahomes a couple weeks ago. Sam Hubbard also played in all games, 12 total tackles, 7 solo, 5 assisted. And that's it for him. Mike Hilton also has 12 total tackles, 8 solo, 4 assisted. Akeem Davis Gafer, and also I think I'm gonna stop at Hendrickson. What's so funny? Are you okay over there?
That dude's name was funny to me.
Oh yeah, Akeem Davis Gafer. Okay. 11 total tackles, 5 solo, 6 assisted, 1 pass deflection. Also has 1 interception. Uh, okay. Jay Tufele. Did I get that right?
I don't know.
Jay,
I haven't heard his name before.
Jay Tufele. Also played in all games. You're like a volcano right now, bro. You're about to erupt laughing in any second now. Uh, 10 total tackles, 4 solo, 6 assisted. He has half a sack, 1 tackle for loss, one I was about to- I was I thought he
You
had
thought he
a
was gonna say you know you're gonna say you had a pick.
yeah, I was about to
Whoever threw a pick to him was a dummy.
Oh my God. Lamar better not throw no picks to him tomorrow. But Matt Carter also has 9 total tackles, 4 solo, 5 assisted, also has a half a sack. Um Joseph Osai has 9 total tackles, 2 solo, 7 assisted. DJ Turner the second has 9 total tackles, 8 solo, 1 assisted, has 2 pass deflections. Trey Hendrickson also played in all games, has 9 total tackles. I'm sorry, yeah, 9 total tackles, 8 solo, 1 assisted, 3 sacks so far. Three, which also translates to 3 tackles for loss, 1 pass deflection. So, as you can see, the Bengals defense main core has done a great job in staying healthy. I mean, all of these guys have played in all games so far. So that's definitely something to commend them for. And these guys, I mean, they get sacks too. Trey Hendrickson's leading the leaderboards, but these other guys get pressures as well. So it's definitely something to watch out for. In tomorrow's game.
Let's see if they have the injury report up here. See if they have it up here. All right, so October 4th. So Miles Murphy's questionable. Kenley Jackson's questionable. Sheldon Rankins is doubtful, they said, so he's not playing. Mike Hilton's questionable as well. So we should find our own injury report, but we could do that in the next pregame video. But obviously, you know, like I said, it's going to be a big game for both teams. Honestly, both teams are going to be scratching for a win, especially the Bengals because they don't want to go 1-4, and the Orioles, not the Orioles. The Ravens are on a hot streak in these last 2 weeks. So, but the way they've played these last 2 weeks, I just want to continue to see the same thing. Honestly, ride the hot hand until it doesn't work anymore.
I agree. And to kind of segue off of that, I feel like we ride the hot hand. Derrick Henry gets going. I feel like we win this game.
This is your
I was
prediction
almost,
here.
yeah, the score prediction. I was almost right last week. I was just 7 points off. I feel like we win this game 24-10.
Mm.
I feel like we scored the bulk of our points in the first half. We scored a touchdown in the third quarter, 24-3. Defense just holds them down. We get the job done. So 24-10.
I think I think the Ravens win as well. I'm kind of on the fence about it, but I think the Ravens win 31-20.
I
Thirty-one
like that.
twenty.
I like that.
I say 31-20, and I think we take a big lead, but the Bengals make, we have our little, it's not collapse, but we have a little scare at the end, but because we didn't have it last week. So I will say 31-10. It could easily be 34 like 10. Right at 30-31. They're not 31-10, 31-20. Um, but hopefully it's another blowout. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Just have another
And
relaxing
hopefully it's
game.
31 to
Yeah.
10.
Right. I was saying hopefully it is 31-10. That'd be hopefully it's 31 nothing. Like, oh well, maybe we could remember that one kid who tried to guess the one game. It was like 1,000-0.
Oh yeah, the Washington. Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully it's like that. I always think about that. Like that game is what started Kirk Cousins' career.
Oh yeah, because Haloti
Like,
Nada
yeah.
sat on RG3's leg.
And then what was his name? Who was the old Commanders coach?
Oh, Shanahan.
Yeah, freaking threw him out there in the wild card game, but they had that shit ass field that they had to play on. He freaking tore his ACL again or whatever. Like,
Yep.
oh man, like that was a whole disaster. That ruined RG3's career. I feel bad for him. He was never the same after that. I don't know what it is in NFC East quarterbacks and getting massive injuries and like not performing after that. Like Carson Wentz was a beast before he got hurt.
I
Like
know. Oh,
like I don't know what changed. Maybe it was his psyche, or maybe it was just all mental at that point. But like he just was not the same after that. He was a borderline MVP candidate the year they won the Super Bowl. Like that's crazy to say that Carson Wentz was an MVP candidate. I don't
I
even think he's
know.
even in
That
the
is
league.
crazy to think. Yeah.
What is he backing up Mahomes now? I think
Yep.
so. I was gonna say he was in the league, but anyways, to get back on topic, I think the Ravens win 31-10, 31-20.
Hopefully, like we said, hopefully it is 31-10, but um, you know, hopefully tomorrow can just be a win. We
Right.
can predict the scores all we want to, but we just want to win at the end of the day.
Hmm.
Because that shows that we're improving. It's a
Yeah.
long season
Oh,
and got big aspirations.
I do want to ask. Obviously the whole Devontae Adams debacle happened this week, a few days ago. How do you feel about this whole? First of all, do you think there's any chance that he comes here? And second of all, how much do you want him to be here if you want him here at all?
Unfortunately, I don't think it's a big chance that Devontae comes here. Um, I think that, I heard that teams want the Raiders to eat up some of his cap,
Hmm.
before they trade for him. And I don't know how willing the Raiders are to do that. So I think that could be a big hindrance, especially for a team like the Ravens who always like to, play it cheap and smart. I don't
Yeah.
think they would, really try to, take on his cap like that and, deal with all that. But I would love to have Devontae on his team. I would kind of be worried if he wouldn't be upset with his role, because it's not the Ravens aren't the type of team where we rely on one wide receiver a lot. Like one wide receiver isn't going to get 12 catches a game. Like that Isaiah Likely game was kind of an anomaly. And even so, he's a
Yeah.
tight end. So you would expect on the Ravens tight ends to eat more over wide receivers. But
Hmm.
it would be great to have him on the field, on our team. The trio of Jackson, Henry, Adams, I mean, there's no excuse. And you said this in our messages. There's no excuse. You have to win the Super Bowl with that. If you don't, something's wrong with your team. Something's wrong.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the only
I
other thing you'd have to get
would-
rid of is, I mean, we already know.
yep.
We already
Ex-
know.
Yep. So I would love to have him on this team. I mean, what do you think?
I'd love it too. I would automatically make him the best receiver Lamar's ever had, in his career. I think that we thought maybe that's what OBJ could have been last year, but he just first he couldn't stay on the field, first of all, and then they just didn't really seem to use him a lot, and he still had it a little bit, but it was what it was. If it was OBJ from 2016, I'd say like he'd need to have 1,000, receiving yards, but I don't think that he would fit in here, but I'd love it, honestly. I'd love it. I think that just kind of elevates your game, the team to just another level, just because we don't want to be one dimensional going into the postseason. When it comes to just giving the ball to Henry and figuring that out. Because I don't want because what like Henry doesn't seem to have like great games versus guys like the Chiefs or whatever. I feel like I think he's had one or two, but like otherwise than that, but I feel like our biggest weakness in the postseason is like throwing the ball. And it's not because of Lamar can't throw. Lamar can throw. He's one of the better throwers in the league, but I don't feel like the pass catchers surrounding him have really been in his benefit. To where you need a guy to make a clutch play. In the receiving department, they may not make it. Where Devontae Adams can change the game for you in the aspect to where you're down by 10 in the fourth quarter. You need to score now. You can throw it to Devontae Adams and hopefully he makes a toe tap catch or he makes, he just has a beautiful route and gets open or whatever, like just stuff like that. We don't have those guys, on the team. I think Bateman's a great route runner, but his hands are questionable sometimes, and I think, Zay is just Zay's doing his thing, I guess, but um having him paired up with Zay would just make life so much easier as well,
Oh yeah.
for everybody. So I know we're not going to be like a pro style offense, with him on the team where he's going to get 1,000 receiving yards, but he would definitely be a fit in certain scenarios where we haven't succeeded before. So that's my opinion about it.
And yeah, I agree. And hopefully, us here at Birds Race Sports, we hope the Ravens, front office and EDC can come up with something, to
Hmm.
get this on our team. But I we wouldn't be surprised if he ends up on the Saints or the Jets, or the Chargers, something like that.
Yeah.
But hopefully he does come here.
Yep.
We need all that we can get. But I think that's all we got, for you guys today in this video. Make sure you comment down below, what do you think the score is going to be, and what are your opinions on, the Joe Burrow and the Bengals offense as well as their defense. Make sure you comment that down below. Also make sure you check out our social medias, our Instagram, our TikTok, our Twitter. Jared's making some amazing graphics on Instagram. Like I always say, he's always cooking. So make sure you check those out and show them some love. Um, Also make sure you check out TikTok. Jared went to the Orioles wild card. Unfortunately, we didn't get the results that we wanted. A video will be coming out about that, after this one. But he did get some great footage, in his time at the wild card games. So make sure you check that out as well. Make sure you check out our second channel, Casual Cinema. The Deadpool and Wolverine review is on there, so make sure you check that out. Show that some love. Also comment, what your opinions was on the movie. But that's all we got for you guys today. Bird Spray Sports, and we're out.
Well.